Fast am I, good evening and welcome to the Manx Radio Folk Show with me, John Barker, playing the best in folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and around the world. Well, we've had a cracking week of live roots and folk music around the island, and I'll tell you more about that later. But I was sad to hear of the death of Simon Emerson last week, a day after his 67th birthday. He was the founder of Afro-Celt Sound System and also the main organiser of the Imagined Village, two of my favourite folky, rootsy collaborations. Emerson was also a keen bird watcher and a druid, apparently. Early in his career, he was a member of the bands The Working Week, The Weekend, and played guitar on everything but the girls' debut Eden, and produced records for Bob Amal. Here, from the Imagined Village, with Chris Wood singing, is The Hand Weaver and the Factory Maid.
If I could but a favour win, I'd sit beside her and I'd weave by steam. My father to me scornful said, how can you fancy a factory maid when you can have lasses fine and gay, dressed like unto the Queen of May? As for your fine girls, I don't care. If I could but enjoy my dear, I'd sit beside her all the day. She and I keep our shuttles in play. I went to my love's bedroom door, where I have been many times before, but I could not speak, nor yet get into the pleasant bed my love lay. Say it's a pleasant bed when none lies there but a factory maid. A factory maid, though she be, blessed is the man that enjoys she. Pleasant thoughts run in my mind as I turn down the sheets so fine to see her two breasts are standing so like two white hills covered in snow. have all gone for to weave by steam. If you would catch them, you must rise at dawn and trudge to the factory in the early morn.
Now, last week, we had lots of music going on. We had Blues Club on Wednesday night. We had sessions all over the place. We had the Ceilidh, St. Patrick's Night Ceilidh up in Ramsey to raise money for Shennigus Dew. And on Saturday night, we had Will Pound and Jen Butterworth performing at the Institute. It was a fantastic night. They also turned up at a session on Saturday afternoon at O'Donnell's, and I recorded a little bit. From that session, here's the collective musicians playing some tunes. So that was recorded at O'Donnell's on Saturday afternoon when the session included Will Pound and Jen Butterworth, but also in that particular recording you can very much hear Mary Malloy on melodeon and Kirsty Lawrence on whistle. Now, music happening this week, the usual Wednesday night session will be at O'Donnell's. On Thursday night will be the Folk Club in Ramsey. Friday night, the session in the Mitre in Ramsey. Sunday afternoon session will be at the Heron in Annaka. And in addition to those, we have Tony Cox, a South African guitarist, playing at the Centenary Centre on Friday night for £10. Also in Peel on Friday night, we have an open mic at the Black Dog Oven, which is raising money for the charity Manx Autoimmune Arthritis Trust in their Be Kind for 2023 campaign. I just saw last night that in Cruniac have announced their lineup for this year. The festival based in Peel has a fantastic lineup for July, including Dervish, Corrine Polwart and the band Trip, in which Isla Callister plays fiddle. Now, Isla performed at Cruniac last year with her piece that she'd written called Creacht, which was a culture van in commission. It celebrated the women who'd helped to shape the history of the Isle of Man from the 1800s to the present day, Creacht meaning courage. It's in 3 parts, and the first section focuses on Sophia Morrison, who was born in 1859 in Peel and was a culture and language activist. In this first piece, called My Dear Miss Morrison, you will hear piano from Anna Garvin, Isla on fiddle, and Mira Royal on harp. That was Isla Callister and friends playing a piece from Creact, which she performed in Chronic last year. I'll be playing a piece from each section of that tonight, later in the show. You can watch the whole performance on the Culture Vannin website. Now, Isla and Mira are also performing at Shenniger Stew this year. They've got a concert on the afternoon of Sunday the 9th of April, which you can get tickets for now. And they've got the incredible Mira Royal Music performing alongside Echoes Killarney from the Killarney School of Music. And they've got an exciting brand new Irish Manx collaboration, Cerdra Gale, consisting of Dave Kilgallen, Isla Callister, and Tieran Currell and Cathal O'Curran. So get your tickets for that as soon as you can. Next, I'm going to play probably one of my favourite traditional songs, Spencer the Rover. This is the first version I heard, which is by John Martin, but I'm going to play a different version each week for the next couple of weeks.
This tune was composed by Spencer, as valiant a man as ever left home. And he had been much reduced, at which caused great confusion. And that was the reason he started to roam. Yorkshire near Rotherham, he had been on the ramble. Weary of travelling, he sat down to rest. By the foot of the old mountain lays a clear flowing fountain, with bread and cold water he himself did refresh. With the night fast approaching, to the woods he resorted, with the woodbine and ivy his bed for to make. But he dreamt of outside, lamenting and crying. Go home to your family and rambling forsake. 'Tis the 5th day of November, I've a reason to remember, when first he arrived home to his family and friends. They did stand so astounded, surprised and dumbfounded, to see such a stranger once more in their sight. And his children come around him with their brittle-rattling stories, brittle-rattling stories to drive care away. And he's as happy as those, as of thousands of riches, content that he'll remain and not ramble away. This tune was composed by Spencer, as valiant a man as ever left home. And he had been much reduced and caused great confusion. And that was the reason he started to roam.
Now, the Firelight Trio play European folk music that's evocative, inventive, and endlessly exciting. Driving fiddle and gorgeous nickel harper meet deep accordion grooves in a rich tapestry of lively Swedish polkas, Scottish reels, lilting French waltzes, toe-tapping klezmer, and dazzling original tunes. They consist of Phil Alexander on accordion, Gavin Marwick on fiddle, and Ruth Morris on nickel harper. And from their new album, Firelight Trio, this is Shikti Mikti and Acrobat's Bridge. Now, returning to Creac, the composition by Isla Callister for Incrunic last year, celebrating women who'd helped shape the history of the Isle of Man from the 1800s to the present day. Now, the second part focuses on Angel Neal, who was born in Belgium and moved to the Isle of Man in 1947 when she married the tank driver Philip Neal, who she'd met in Europe. This piece is called Against the Tide. Angel was involved in a variety of campaigns. She was the French consular agent, and she was involved in the anti-birching campaign in the 1970s. The concert was attended by members of her family, including our good friend and stalwart of the Manx traditional music scene, Mick Neal, and joining the performers here are Katie and Kirsty Lawrence. And I've got one more piece of music from Creac by Isla Callister to play later in the show. Let's have some Martin Carthy.
Now Long John's from the mountains gone, he's to London town, and the king's daughter in fair London, she fell in love with him. Now Long John was a giant born, he was 14 feet in height, and the king's daughter, she wept for him as she laid alone at night. And when the king he heard of this, an angry man was he. Says this mighty man shall stretch the rope that hangs on the gallows tree. So he sent men and cunning men, and around him they did creep, and they fed him drops of laudanum, and they laid him fast asleep, so that when he's awaked out of his sleep, a sorry man was he, with his jaws and hands in iron bands, and his feet in fetters 3. So he's bribed him a servant, Long John, he's given him meat and fee, to run to his uncle Old John, to come and rescue he. And the first few miles the little boy walked, and the next few miles he ran, and he ran till he come to the broad water, where he lay down and swam. And when he come to the mountain high, he cried out aloud, for there he spied him Jackie North, with Old John by his side. And there as these two giants stood, a grisly sight to see, for they were tall as the eagle's call, and broad as the oaken tree. Oh, rise, rise, Old John, Jackie North, come thee, for Long John's in prison strong, and hanged he must be. So they ran over hill, and they ran over dale, and they ran over mountain high, till they come down to London town at the dawning of the day. They cried, open up your city gates, open at my call. Then they up with their feet, and they kicked a hole straight in through London wall. And they trampled down by Drury Lane, the crowd before them ran, till there they spied him, Long John stood under the gallows pin. Is it for murder? Is it for rape? Is it for robbery? For if it's any heinous crime, we'll stand and watch you die. He says, not for murder, not for rape, not for robbery, but it's all for the love of a gay lady. They are here to see me die. So they took him from the gallows pin, before the king went bay. Their armour bright cast such a light, it fair dazzled his eye. Good day to you, cries Jackie North, good day to you, cries he, for we have come for your daughter's wedding, all down from the mountains high. The king, he seen 'em come, an angry man was he, cries, one of you is droll enough, what shall I do with 3? Oh, cursed be that serving boy, the tidings bore away, for I do vow and I do swear high hanged he shall be. Oh, if you hang this little boy, the tidings brought to me, we 3 shall come to his burial, and paid you'll surely be. A priest, Long Johnny cries, to join my love and me. A priest, Long Johnny cries, for married we will be. Oh, take my daughter, Long John, my curse upon you fall, and take my serving boy also, lest all my city fall. They've taken the lady by the hand, set her prison free, and the drums did beat and the fifes did play. They spent the night with glee, and then Long John and Old John, Jackie North, all 3, a free bride and a serving boy, went back to the mountains high.
Martin Carthy with Long John, Old John and Jackie North. Now, Assynt is one of my favourite areas in Scotland, where spectacular Torridonian sandstone mountains rise from the Lewisian gneiss basement, often topped with a bit of Cambrian quartzite. Did I mention that I'm a geologist by degree? But Assynt is also the name of a band, and they are the BBC Radio Scotland Young Musician of the Year finalist Graham Mackenzie on fiddle, David Shedden on pipes and whistles, alongside the BBC Radio 2 Young Folk Award winner Innes White on guitar and mandolin. From their second album, Where From Here, this is Assynt House. let's stay in the mountains with a song called Fear Not the Mountain by Catherine Roberts and Sean Lakeman. They're performing at the Peel Centenary Centre on the 6th of May, something else you need to get tickets for. This is from their new album, Almost a Sunset.
For it will guide you home.
Catherine Roberts and Sean Lakeman, who are coming to Peel Centenary Centre in May. Next, my last selection from Isla Callister's Creacht. That was, of course, recorded at the Peel Centenary Centre last year, and you can see the whole thing, don't forget, on the Culture Vannin website. The third part of her suite comes right up to date and celebrates Calm and the Handmaid's Isle of Man and their campaign for abortion law modernisation on the Isle of Man. This track is called Moraine Dunnell, Courageous Women. So it was such a pleasure to have Will Pound and Jen Butterworth over for a couple of days. They're such amazingly talented musicians and lovely people too. We had a great time. From Will's album, A Day Will Come, celebrating the music of all the EU member states, this is the Irish selection, My Darling Asleep and Jimmy Ward's, featuring Jen Butterworth on guitar and Patsy Reed on fiddle. So finally tonight, the band that Simon Emerson formed, the Afro-Celt Sound System. In this case, featuring Rena Connolly on vocals, this is Honey Bee. See you next week.
Could it be? Or could it be?